110 quotes. No fluff, no commentary, just pure wisdom from the greatest minds in history. Some will inspire you, some will challenge you. All of them will make you think. Let's begin. The unexamined life is not worth living, Socrates. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca? He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Friedrich Nietzsche. The cost of a thing is the amount of life you exchange for it. Henry David Thoreau. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Marcus Aurelius. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Buddha. Know thyself. Socrates. Man is condemned to be free. Jean-Paul Sartre. I think, therefore I am. René Descartes. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing, Socrates. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, John Lennon. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Lewis Carroll. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. Viktor Frankl. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Aristotle. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Joseph Campbell. What you seek is seeking you, Rumi. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Rumi. The wound is the place where the light enters you, Rumi. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken, Oscar Wilde. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all. Oscar Wilde. We accept the love we think we deserve. Stephen Chbosky. The only way out is through. Robert Frost. Hell is other people. Jean-Paul Sartre. He who fights with monsters might take care lest he thereby become a monster. Friedrich Nietzsche. When you stare into the abyss stares back at you. Friedrich Nietzsche. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Friedrich Nietzsche. Without music, life would be a mistake. Friedrich Nietzsche. God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. Friedrich Nietzsche. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. Friedrich Nietzsche. One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. Friedrich Nietzsche. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Marcus Aurelius. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Seneca. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do, Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. Man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in his life. Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Viktor Frankl. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Viktor Frankl. Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. Viktor Frankl. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms to choose one's attitude. Viktor Frankl. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Carl Jung. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Carl Jung. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Carl Jung. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Rumi. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. Rumi. Don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Rumi. Raise your words, not voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. Rumi. The lion is most handsome when looking for food. Rumi. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Robert Frost. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. Robert Frost. The best way out is always through. Robert Frost. Freedom lies in being bold. Robert Frost. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Ayn Rand. Do not let your fire go out. Spark by irreplaceable spark in the hopeless swamps of the not quite. Ayn Rand. The hardest thing to explain is the glaringly evident, which everybody has decided not to see. Ayn Rand. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. Steve Jobs. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life, Steve Jobs. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Steve Jobs. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Steve Jobs. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Steve Jobs. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Aristotle. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Aristotle. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Aristotle. Hope is a waking dream. Aristotle. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Tony Robbins. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Tony Robbins. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Tony Robbins. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Socrates. Strong minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Weak minds discuss people. Socrates. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Plato. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Plato. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Plato. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. Plato. Courage is knowing what not to fear. Plato. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Plato. Do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Bruce Lee. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. Bruce Lee. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Bruce Lee. Be water, my friend. Bruce Lee. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. Bruce Lee. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. Bruce Lee. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. Bruce Lee. The moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win. Kobe Bryant. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something. But I can't accept not trying. And Michael Jordan. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Ralph Waldo Emerson. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. Ralph Waldo Emerson. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. George Bernard Shaw. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. George Bernard Shaw. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. George Bernard Shaw. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. George Bernard Shaw. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. George Bernard Shaw. You see things, and you say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say, why not? George Bernard Shaw. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. George Bernard Shaw. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. George Bernard Shaw. You see things, and you say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say, why not? George Bernard Shaw. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. 110 quotes from history's greatest minds. Some comforted you, some challenged you. All of them made you think. If you value depth over distraction, subscribe. Let's keep exploring what it means to live an examined life.